Okay, good afternoon, people.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. So, do you guys see your exam one result already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a quick survey. You don't have to respond to my survey. So if you're happy with the exam one result, type yes. If you are unhappy, type no. If you're neutral, just type neutral, okay? So type in the chat session, I want to do a quick survey. Feel free to voice your opinion, no worry, okay? Okay, so has everybody typing in the response already? I think so. Okay, so I think a third of our students are kind of happy. A third is unhappy, and a third is neutral, approximately. I'm sorry, half our class is happy. Yeah, a quarter is unhappy, and then the other quarter is neutral. So, okay, so first of all, as an instructor of a class, so if you are unhappy with the exam one result, I would strongly recommend you to send me an email to talk with me at your convenience, so that we can figure out the way to make more progress in this class. Okay, so please, if you are unhappy, please talk with me so that we together we can work a good plan for your study. Okay, so that's the first announcement. Second announcement, after each exam, we're also going to have an exam one wrappers. So very similar with the pre-exam wrappers, you will be asked to reflect on how you did it, how you prepared, and how you can improve. Okay, I will assign tonight. Okay, so I will assign post-exam wrappers tonight. I think I'll make it due this Sunday, this coming Sunday. Okay, that's the second announcement. So the third announcement, first I need to apologize. When I was grading your 2C project, your project 2C, how many people shake hands with each other, that question, I found that this question seems to be too hard. Only a couple of students in our class correctly solved the problem. Most students didn't solve it correctly. So in order to compensate my own mistake of assigning such a hard question, so if you didn't get it, if you didn't solve the problem, I would give you a minimum 60 out of 100. If you get the right answer, that is 4 people shaking hands, so I would give you 80 out of 100. I mean, 80 out of 100 for those people who give the answer, correct answer, but didn't give the correct process. 100 out of 100 will be given to those students who came up with right answer and right process. Okay. So that's how your 2C project is graded. So next time, I will try to make sure I do not put such a difficult question out there. And for the solution of a 2C project, it's already posted in the same place where you can find your 2C project. Okay. So let me know if you have any difficulty finding that. Okay, so I think that's the 3 announcements today. First announcement, those people who are unhappy with the exam result, please talk with me. Okay, so second announcement, exam one wrappers will be assigned tonight and will be due this coming Sunday. Third announcement, 2C project is graded with 3 levels, 60, 80, and 100 out of 100, okay? Okay, any more questions before we continue to today's class? Okay, so it seems that nobody has any question. So let's go to the class. So everybody sees the lecture notes in the on this week's module, right? Okay, so we have quite a few questions to work on. It's related with compounding interest. However, before we solve those questions, I would like to give you 5 minutes to work on much easier questions. Much easier question, okay? So the question states like this. If you have $100, and you put in the bank, which give you interest rate 10% per year. Okay, so make a table on how the money would change. How the money would grow within let's say 4 years. Okay, so you have $100, you put in the bank give you interest 10% per year. Okay, make a table on how the money would grow within 4 years. So this is just an entry dish for today's class. So I would give you, let's say, 3 minutes to work on it. So this side is the first year. This side represents how much money you have in the bank. The first year you have $100 in the bank. So how about the second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year? And I will tell you that the money is compounding. So this is a compounding interest, okay? So once the interest is created, it will grow and grow and grow. So I'll give you 3 minutes to work on this question. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay. So let me walk through these 4 years for you. And once you understand this question, pretty much you understand the principles of this section 4b, okay? Remember that the principle of this section is the same with this question. So after the first year, second year, how much money you would have? 1 plus 10%, which is $110, right? How about the third year? So this is your previous year's money. It grew another 10%. The previous $10 interest also grew. So which give you $121. Similarly, previously you have 121, which is such a long expression. It times 10%, 1 plus 10% again. Okay. So did anyone figure out how much money is it here? I think it is 133.1. Okay. How about the fifth year? This money increase another 10% again. So it should be 140. $6.41. Did I calculate this correctly? Anyone has any different opinion? Okay, so assume you don't have any different opinion. So assume this is correct. Okay, so feel free to point out if I make any mistake during calculation. You see, starting from the first year, you have $100, then it grows another 10%, grow to 110, then it grow again. But the third year is not just growing $10, it's growing $11. Do you notice that? What is the one extra dollar come from? It comes from the extra $10 interest, which was created in the previous year, right? So the previous interest also grows. Okay. Similarly, the fourth year grows. The fifth year also grows. So this is it. So does anyone has any question? Okay. So let's go to the lecture notes today. So the previous example was very easy. Every number is kind of simple, but we need to learn the formal definition to be able to work with more complex situations. The first definition, principal, is a financial formulas. In financial formula is the balance on which interest is paid. So in the previous example, at the beginning, you have like $100. This is your principal, okay? So every money you get kind of was born by this $100. Okay, let me repeat this sentence. Every interest or every dollar of extra money you have made is borne by this principal, borne. Simple interest is interest paid only on the original investment and not on any interest added later dates. So look at our simple example. Simple interest. So the first year is $10. However, from the second year to the third year, you add an extra $11. So why there's one extra dollar? Because this one extra dollar is from this $10 interest. This $10 interest also create more interest in the future. Okay. So this is not a simple interest. This is the so-called compound interest. Compound interest is interest paid both on the original investment and on all interest that has been added to the original investment. So this $11 is a compound interest. So if you have only simple interest, each year you only have 10% of the principal. 10% of the principal, which is only $10. So each year you add $10. So after 4 years, you only should have 140. However, you get 146.41 cents. So the extra $6.41 is borrowing by the interest it created. Okay, so it is borrowing and borrowing the relationship. So let's look at it. Our example one. So previously we did a toy example on the compound interest. However, notice that example one, you have $1,000 in a bank account with 10% simple interest. Notice the word simple interest. So compounded each year, how much money will you have in account in 5 years? Okay. So let's do a calculation. So the first year you have $1,000. Oops, sorry. I didn't draw it very nicely. So I think this side should be year, this side should be the money you have. First year you have $1,000. Similarly, second year, 10% interest. So $1,000, 10% interest of the $1,000 is 100. Okay, but notice that this extra $100 does not produce future interest because we are calculating simple interest. Only this $1,000 is producing interest. So the third year, $1,000 plus 1,000 plus 100, sorry, plus another 100, okay? So each year you add a simple interest. You do not add any money extra. Fourth year, you also add $100. So 1,300. Fifth year, 1,400. Okay, so that's how the simple interest work. Does anyone has any question in the understanding of simple interest and compound interest? Okay, so I hope everybody can understand the difference between those two. So let's continue. compound interest formula for interest paid in n times per year. Okay, so sometimes when you put money in the bank, the money is compounding multiple times per year. It's not just compounding one time per year. They can compound n times per year. However, the APR they tell you is so-called annual percent rate. So we know the annual is per year. Sometimes if we compound every month, we need to convert this part into every month, right? Let me add a note here. Need to convert into your units. P is a principal, so that's how much money you have at the beginning. N is the number of compounding periods per year. For example, if you have 12 compound monthly, you have 12 periods per year, right? Each year has 12 months. So the annual rate divided by 12, which is just the monthly rate. Once you convert this into the period, which in our case is like a month, you also need to calculate how many months are left, right? Since you are change everything into the unit of months. So previously, 1 year has 12 months. That's why you divide 12 here. Now, your number of years also need to times 12. That's how many months you totally have. Okay. So I'm just explaining each part of the formula. So the idea is convert everything into one unit. Okay. If you are calculating based on months, make sure your interest is converting to months and your time is also converting to months. Okay, so I'll give you, let's say, 2 minutes to work on this example. I just want to remind you, the keyword here is compounded yearly. So which means it's once per year. Okay, so it is once per year. So you can use this formula to figure out how much money you had in 6 years by plugging in all the required numbers. Okay, so let me give you 2 minutes to work on example 2. It should be very manageable. Okay. So 2 minutes is over. Let's see how to do this question. So whenever you see a formula, make sure you know what each part is representing for. So this $10,000 is your principal. That's how much money you have at the beginning. APR is giving is 3% already. Compound annually tells you that N equals to 1. How much money will you have in 6 years? So 6 here is the number of years. So let's plug into the formula. So after 6 years, your principal, just copy everything. Interest rate 3% divided by 1 still itself. 6 years and N is 1, 6. So still 1 times 6, which equal to 10,000, 1 plus 3%, 6 times. What you get? Did anyone figure out, do the calculation? Feel free to speak out with the number you have, or in type it in the chat session. What you get? Okay, thank you, Queen. So after 6 years, you have 11,940.552. Okay, that's it. So let me repeat the key idea. Whenever you see a formula, make sure you are clear, crystalline clear with each component. What are they representing? And in our case, you should know what is the value of each letter, each symbol here. Okay, thank you. Any question? Any question before we move on to the next page?
I thought that the first year doesn't count, so I put
Oh,
yeah.
okay, so this is I think this is English question. So English is my second language. So let me ask you this. In 6 years, it means 6 years later or in 5 years later? I want to do a poll. So if you think it is 6 years later, type in the chart 6. If you think it's 5 years later, type in the chart 5. Let's do a quick poll. This is purely English understanding. Type your response, please. Everybody, please voice your opinion. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'm a very democratic person. So I think everybody, except for me, think it's 5 years. I'm very sure you are right, and I'm wrong. So let's crack everything. So let me do this calculation again. 1, Okay, so our new number should give us $1,159 92.74. Okay. Thank you very much, Finn, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for pointing this question out. Okay, so Elizabeth, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Great, I appreciate that. Let's continue. You are the most rich person in this planet. You have $500 into the bank account. The APR is 4%. However, it's compounded quarterly. So this tells you the key information, how much is the N. So this indicating N is 4, right? Again, plug into the formula. How much money will you have in 10 years? So this tells you Y equals to 9, which is 9 years later. So APR 4 here, principal $500 here. So let's just write everything together. Principal 1 plus 4%. 4% divided by 4 and APR divided by N, then N times Y. So 4 times 9. Okay. I leave that calculation to you. Okay. So please work on this calculation. When you are finished, please type in the chat. So after you finish it, you can look at the definition here. Okay, so let me give you 2 minutes to work on example 3 and look at the definition 3. Definition. Okay. So can anyone tell me what did they get for this part? Feel free to speak out or type in the chat session. Thank you, Elizabeth. So 9 years later, or within 10 years, you have $700.38. Thank you. Does anyone has any question on this example 3? Okay, so let's look at the definition. Okay, this looks better. The annual percent yield. Okay, notice that this is the APY, which is different from APR. It's also called effective yield. It's simply the yield is the actual percentage by which a balance increase in 1 year. Okay, so this is the actual percentage. Why it is actual? Because when you are using the annual percent rate, you are not using it directly. You convert into your unit. Sometimes it can be months or quarters. Then you increase the time units. Okay, so by dividing the annual percent rate into months, you are actually charging more interest. You are charging more interest. So that's why we need the concept annual percent yield. So this tells you how much you really get after 1 year. Since the APR annual percent rate can be divided and can be calculated in different time units, the interest you are charged can be often higher than the APR. Let me write this down. The actual yield is often, not often, I would say it's 100% of the times. It's greater than APR. Please write this down. Okay, since you can divide the time into smaller pieces and compound it more frequently. If you just compound once a year, so if you just compound it once a year, so the annual percent yield is the same with APR. However, in most cases, you are very likely to compound it monthly or quarterly. Okay. So this is how much money actual yield. Okay. So let's look at example 4. What is APY on bank account with APR 3% compound monthly? So you are very lucky. This is a bank account. You are putting money into it, and it is compounded monthly, which is great, which means they are charging you, they are paying you more money. However, I want to share you a screen. Okay, I'll begin my screen sharing. You guys see my screen? Give me some response.
No, just the paper.
Did you see my screen? Wells Fargo screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I see it.
Okay, great. So So if you cannot see my screen, please adjust on your window to minimize my pen and paper. So many of you will have credit cards in the near future. The credit card company always play a trick. They tell you the annual percent APR, annual percent rate. Okay, so like this, they tell you it's 0% for 12 months. However, after 15 months, the annual percent rate will be minimum 15%, maximum 25%. Okay, so if you own them $100, it is not you are charged with $25 per year. This APR is 25%. However, it is compounded monthly, which is significantly increase the interest. It's much more than 25. Okay. So I just want to show you the trick here. Similarly, every time you apply a credit card, pay attention. They always have this trick here. They tell you the APR, but they do not tell you the APY. So let's go back to the question. Okay. So you have the knowledge already. So this is still a good question for you because you are making the money by putting money into the bank account. I would give you 3 minutes to work on example 4. Okay, 3 minutes to work on example 4. Okay, this question is very similar with the previous one. However, you are not beginning with the principal. Okay, so I didn't tell you principal. So what you should do? You can just assume, let's say, the principal is $1, just for your convenience. Then, how much money would you have after 1 year? So it is the principal times 1 plus 3.25%. Compound monthly, okay? So divided by 12. What is the units for time? How many units for time? Each year you have 12 months, so you have 12 times time is 1 year. Okay. So did anyone figure out what is the number here? Please tell me your answer. Please type in the chat section or speak out directly.
I think 3.3, I don't know.
Frank, can you speak again?
Never mind, I did it wrong.
Haha. Okay. So let me type into my calculator. Three, 2, 5 divided by 12. And times 12. Okay. I think the number is 1.032. Okay, 0.33. So as you can see, at the beginning you have $1. 1 year later, you have 3 cents, 3.3 cents more. So the money you increase is $0.033. The APY is how much you actually increase. Compared with $1, you increase 3.3%. Okay? Do you guys get it? 3.3. Does anyone has any question? Okay, so if nobody has any question, let's continue to the next one. So all of the previous questions, you begin at the present and see how much money you would have in the future. But starting from example 5, you start from the future. You want to have so much money in the future. So the question asks you how much money you need to put in bank account right now. Okay, so everything just reversed, but we are still using the same formula. Look at this formula. Does this looks very familiar with you about the previous formula? Okay, so this is our previous formula. Do you guys see something very familiar? Here is your principal. You want to see how much money your principal grows into the future. Exactly the same formula. If you divide both sides with this part, so on this side is A divided by this. On this side you have the principal. So which you can use this formula to calculate how much principal you need right now. Assuming you know how much money you want in the future and the interest and compounding information here. So this is just a way to go back to the principal. Okay, so they are exactly the same formula, just both sides divided by this part. Let me write this down. Same formula. Interest formula. Just divide both sides with the interest. So this is interest part. Okay. Does anyone has any question about this formula? Okay, so let's go to example 5. Again, for example 5, I think I can give you 3 minutes to work on it. So 3 minutes to work on example 5. But let me tell you, you want this amount of money in the future, okay? So this is your A. This is your money after compounding so many interest, which is A. And the question asks you, what is your P? Basically, A is given, it is here. APR is taught here. N should be 12 because it's compound monthly. N is 12. And Y in 20 years, which means Y is 19 years. Okay. So you have all the information here. So I'll give you 3 minutes to work on it by yourself. You just need to plug all the values into the formula. Write everything down and plug into your calculator. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay, so I hope we have tried. So let's come back together to work things out. You know, I told you A is 10,000. What is a P? P equals to fraction 10,000. You also have 1 here. Just copy everything you have. APR, find it in the question, 4%. In 12. Compound monthly, that's why in 12. In 12, copy everything, Y 19. Okay. So we successfully pull out all the information in the question into the formula. Hey, does anyone figure out what's the number here for this kind of a huge chunk of numbers? Can anyone tell me the answer? Have you tried? Feel free to speak out or type in the chat. Okay, so, okay. Thank you, Libas. Thank you, Queen. So the correct answer should be $4,666.08. Okay. So Kittist just asked me, where did you get to 19? So I'm not sure if you see, we did a poll at the beginning of class about the English understanding of the words in 20 years. The majority, everybody in this class, think that in 20 years means 19 years later. That's why we have 19 here, okay? So in short, we did a poll to determine our English understanding of the word here. People think that in 20 years is 19 years later. Kitties, did I answer your question? Hi, Kitties, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Okay, anybody have any question on this one? You see, I told you math is easy. So just find the formula and figure out what each component is in the formula, and then you can do the calculation. It's just, that's it. No, nothing very fancy, nothing very sophisticated. Okay. So I'll give you 2 minutes to look at the definition here. And another 2 minutes to work on this example 6. Let me give you a little bit of introduction. Here, you are compounding it continuously, okay? So this is not 12 times a year or 4 times a year. This is keep compounding every second, every half second, every quarter second. This is so-called continuous compounding. And if that happens, we have a different formula, which is here. Okay, so E is a natural number, which is approximately equal to this. So please read this and try this. Let me give you 1 minutes to read definition and try example 6. Okay, let's come back together to look at the definition. As I just said, this is a different formula for a different situation. In such a scenario, you are continuously compounding interest, which means you are compounding every hour, every minute, every second, every half second. If that really happens, you should use this formula to do it. Every component of this formula is still the same. P is principal, APR is still APR, Y is still number of years, A is still accumulated balance after Y years. The only difference is that we have a new component, which is E. So what is this E? It is explained here. E is a special number. It's an irrational number. It is approximately 2.71828-ish. It's just a very special number. If you do that, you need to use this special number. Okay. So does anyone has any question about my explanation about this definition? Okay, so do not overthink about it. Every component is still same. But in this case, you have a new component E, which is 2.7-ish. That's it. So let's look at example 6. Again, P 5,000 years, APR 5% is given. Time 15 years is given, which is Y. So you have everything. So let's plug into the formula here. Just plug into it. 5,000 times E 5%. 5%, 14 years. So if you do the calculation, you should have 5,000 times e to the 14 times 5% is 70%. Okay, so did anyone try to plug this into your calculator? Has anyone tried it yet? Okay, so if you have not tried, let me try it right now. So the easy way to do calculation. Did everybody see my screen, right? So you have $5,000 times E to the 70% is just 0.7. Can you guys see my screen? Give me some response.
Yes.
It looks like it's zoomed in from my point of view.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It looks like it's zoomed in, like I can't see what you're typing.
Oh yeah. No, it looks too small, but let me copy the numbers. Okay, so in short, I just copy the numbers from my calculator, which is also my Google. The number is this. Okay, so make sure you input everything into your calculator correctly. Then you can just get the answer directly, like this. Okay, that's it for today's class, exact timing. So let me take attendance. Do not go, do not go, do not go. Let me take attendance. Okay, so Hannah, please stay here. I can talk with you. Other people feel free to go.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Dasha. Do you have any question for me? Frank? Sujivala?
Yeah, I want to go over like one of the problems. Like I see how you input everything, but there's just a step where I don't really get how you're getting the numbers, so.
Okay, so which question?
Let's go over the one that has the we're inputting 10,000 over 1 plus 4.25 over 12 with the exponents of 12 times 19.
So you're talking about this one? Sorry, Hannah, for keep you waiting. I think his question can be answered very quickly. So this one?
Yeah, so like I get 4.25 divided by 12 and then you add 1, but I don't get what happens after that in the denominator.
So this one is just from this formula.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Yeah, so n is 12. The number of years is 19, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just copy every letter, translate every letter here into a number here using the information given in the question.
Right?
Yeah, so is
What do
it
you do with the 12 and 19 though?
so look at here. N is 12.
You multiply?
Yeah, 12 times 19. NY is just 12 times 19. Y is 12. Y is 19.
Mhm. So it'd be 1.35 to the, hold on, 12 times 19 to the 228th power?
Yes, very large power.
Oh, okay. All right, see, I didn't have a function for that on my calculator, so I didn't,
I know we need to do it by hand.
I know,
You can always use Google to do the
I know, I should have
calculation.
used Google, but I had it full screen, I wasn't thinking. But yeah, that explains it. All right, I'm good.
Great, thank you for asking. Okay, Frank. So please leave the Zoom. Sujivala, do you have any question?
Yeah, I want to talk about my grade.
Okay, so can you wait a few minutes? Can I put you in the waiting room? Need to talk with Hannah first.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
let me put Sujivala in the waiting room. Frank, do you have any question for me?
No, I'm okay. Have a good day.
Okay, so I will put you in the waiting room also. Hey, Hannah,
Hi.
can I see you while talking with you?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Cool. Hey.
Yes. So first of all, I see your message and I check your grades. I think that you are doing fine in this class. Why are you worried so much?
I mean, I think for me, like I've taken this class once before and
Okay.
I failed it.
Okay.
And I really, really struggled during it, like a lot. And
Okay.
I
So let me
think
ask you this: who is
Yeah.
your previous instructor?
I can't remember his name. I'm trying to think of what his name is. I can't remember though. I'm
No problem.
sorry.
No problem. So okay, please continue your speech.
But yeah, so I failed it. I really just like have a lot of anxiety around math classes. I was really not great at them. I only took math my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and I haven't taken it since. And it just like gives me so much anxiety. And then even though I have a C in this class, which is like technically passing, I just feel like I don't understand as much as I could or should. So that's sort of where I'm at.
Let me tell you this. First of all, so it is okay to not understand every part in detail.
Yeah.
Our class is designed for liberal arts. So if you look at the last compounding interest, continuous compounding interest today, on the lecture notes, you are giving me such a formula, right?
Right.
But it did not tell you how the formula is derived from, how the
Right.
formula is from, where it is from.
Yeah.
So that's just how this class is designed.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of explaining what does each part mean, what does A mean, what does the P mean.
Right.
I try to help you to understand, like have a 60% understanding of the material, because the rest for 40% is not designed. We didn't make any kind of explanation why that is true, because that requires so much more work.
Right.
We would just give you the formula and explain each part, and so that you can have a 60% understanding. And the designer of our class thinks that would be good enough. So in the future, when you encounter such an issue, you may think about there is a formula available for you. I think that's pretty much sufficient for
Okay.
our class. So I know I said a lot, but in short, do not worry if you do not 100% understand. So
Okay.
just feel comfortable if you are 60% understanding what I'm talking. And you know what does each part of the formula mean. That would be good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. So also I understand your anxiety. So when I was younger, right now I'm much older.
Mhm.
I also experienced some anxiety while studying. And I know, but I understand since you are a female, you may experience more anxiety than a male do. So have you ever considered to taking some easy measures to help you to relieve your understanding? For example, I know there is an easy way to do it is meditation. Have you tried meditation?
Yeah. So I'm like, math isn't the only thing that like gives me anxiety. I actually am diagnosed with anxiety. So I'm in therapy and I meditate every day and do Pilates and yoga and I do all of the things.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
I'm not sure if I should laugh or cry since my class is
Both.
only making you feel anxiety.
Okay.
So, okay, so let me give you another suggestion.
Yeah.
Every 40 minutes you study, take a break.
Okay.
Go to your balcony or have a short walk outside.
Okay.
Let's have a 10 or 15 minutes break. So when you are studying, do not try to focus too much. Just take it easy. And if you feel you cannot stuck somewhere, raise your head, look around, relax. Maybe you even have a dog, a cat, look at a dog and a cat, look outside your window. And maybe you can also stand up on the chair
Yeah.
and do a little bit of stretch. Oh. So I think those small tips would help with your anxiety. And but to summarize, I think you are doing good enough in this class. And if you need any help, any question, have any concern, yeah, please feel free to drop me an email so that we can talk.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. So is there anything else I can help you?
Nope, I think that was all.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Hannah, for reaching out.
Of
So I
course.
hope you have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Yeah, you too.
Okay,
Thank
goodbye,
you.
Hannah.
Bye.
Hey, Sujibala.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can I see you while talking with you? Hello. Okay, so let me first look into Canvas to see your grades. Okay, so I see. Sujibala, so what do you want to say with me?
I was wondering if I could retake the exam.
Okay, so first I need to apologize. We cannot retake the exam because that would be unfair to other students if I give any individual extra chance. Second, there is a way to make up the exam a little bit to some degree. So we are going to assign the post-exam wrappers. That will be also considered part of grades of the exam. Yes. Do you understand what I'm talking?
Yeah.
So, okay, so before the exam, you will assign exam 1 wrappers, right?
Yeah.
Ask you some questions, how you prepare it, right? So that's also a part of the grades of the exam. So your final grades is actually higher than the grade you get in the math lab because you're adding the pre-exam wrappers and post-exam wrappers. That's like a 20 extra points to your final grades.
Okay.
Okay, if you do that, if you do that in time. So, so your scores will be higher in such a scenario.
Okay.
Okay, so did this solve your concern?
Yes.
I mean, I see you're not happy with your grade. So would you please also talk with me how you feel about exam? What do you experience in exam? So
Yeah, I attempted to study, but I don't know. I just didn't have another time because I was busy with other projects.
okay. So did you have enough? Do you find enough time during 2-hour shift for your exam?
Yeah, I had enough time.
So, so you were having some difficulties doing the questions, right?
No.
Okay, so, so I just want to learn how you experience the exam. Just feel free to speak anything to me. Hello?
Still here?
Yes. So, yeah, so I want to learn how you experience the exam. Could you please say something about your experience about the exam?
It was okay.
I mean, you are still doing good. Right now, your overall grades is like 68.5. So I think this grade is good. I mean, I would not push myself too much. So as long as I'm keep making progress in the homework and other projects, I think not everybody need an A. Not a, as long as we can get a good passing grade, that would be fine.
Okay. And that's it.
Oh yeah. So I know, I understand. Since I'm also a student, I remember when I was taking calculus, my professor told me if you don't work hard, you may fail the class. At that time, I only like my exam grades were like 40%. That's why my professor told me that. So I was super worried at that time. But after I talked with my professor, I changed my strategy a little bit, make myself a little bit more organized. So I gradually did better and better on the following up exams. So this is still our first exam. We still have 2 more exams and many other homeworks. So I believe in you. If you continue your hard work, I think you will definitely get a much higher grades. Yeah. Okay, so do you have any other issues you want to tell me?
Well, when we were doing the practice today, like I had the work set out, but every time I like plugged the answer in my calculator, I kept getting a different answer.
Okay, so have you tried Google? Using Google to do your calculation?
I can, well, I tried that. I can show you what I have on my paper.
Sure. So how would you share your screen? Unfortunately, I cannot read. It's very unclear to me. Yeah.
That's
So,
real close.
the issue is not close. The issue is your camera is not focusing on the paper. Your camera is designed to focus on you, like some person is 2 or 3 feet away, not focusing on your paper. So that's why we have this kind of document camera. Look at me, look at me, look. So this is kind of camera designed to focus on the paper. So the camera you are looking at is kind of human camera designed to focus people a few feet away. That's why if you put your paper there, I cannot read your paper.
Okay.
So, okay, so I cannot read on your paper, but I can show you how to do that on Google. Can I show you? Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just Google, right? I will show you how to do the last one. So type into calculator. You see, I have a calculator coming out. Just type it. So for example, last question, we need to calculate 5,000 times E. E is here to the, what is the power? Power is here to the 70% power, right? This is the last question. So Javala, is that correct?
Yeah.
So just click equal and you get the answer. Okay. So for other questions, we did something like thousands times, just click everything in order. Processes 1 plus, let's say 4% divided by 12, something, we did something like this, right? Then we also need the power. Power key is here. X to the Y is the power key. Power, let's say 12 times. Notice that when I type times, it is 12 times something after the processes. So which is not correct. So we want to do times. So we want to add another processes here if you are using Google. Oops. Okay. Oh, yeah, I encountered an issue here. Okay, so you see every time at plus, I want to do the power 12 times 19. I cannot set it both the 12 and 19 is a power. I can do it separately. I can figure out what is 12 times 19. Look at my screen, please. I can do it separately. I get to find the answer 12 times 19. Then I can go back to this calculator, type in the power. Okay. We can do something like this. So did I answer your question on how to use a calculator?
Yeah.
I know. I think the best way to answer your question is actually look at your calculator to see where things didn't go correctly. So please try the methods I told you. So next class, next Tuesday, if you still get the wrong answers, please just share your screen, do the exactly same calculation on the Google calculator so that I can see your calculator.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, great, Sanjivada. Thank you for talking with me. So feel free to let me know if you have any question, if you need any help from me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.